Do you suffer from stress, anxiety, or depression? Do you find it hard to focus or to contain your emotions? Any of these things can take you down. So, what then are your personal health practices? If you don't yet have an integral or holistic wellness practice, you're in the right place. Podcast host Susan Axelrod, the confidence coach, has been practicing holistic wellness for 25 years. Along the way, Qigong and Tai Chi found her. After tiptoeing in, she dove into a committed practice and became a teacher and integral wellness consultant. She'll tell you Qigong and Tai Chi changed her life. In this podcast, she interviews practitioners, inviting them to share their stories about how these practices changed their lives too. Go grab your journal. At the top of the clean page, write down, "I want to feel better." Then take a breath and tune in to see if Qigong and Tai Chi can help. Hello, friends. We are in for a special episode today of this podcast series, which I honestly love. Today, I wonder if you're going to be introduced to something completely new, as I was when I started practicing. My guest today, you heard from before, Jessica Kolbe. Jessica is an educator in the health and wellness field. She is a level 3 certified Tai Chi and Qigong instructor. She's on the faculty for the Institute of Qigong and Tai Chi, an organization that trains future Qigong and Tai Chi instructors. She leads certification trainings all over the United States and abroad. She has taught certification trainings at esteemed retreat centers and institutes and continues to certify students online. She has led 3 trips to China, 2 to Bali, and is leading a trip this year to Japan. She has an award-winning TV show called Qigong with Jessica Kolbe. Jessica has also led corporate workshops and programs for colleges, community, and senior centers to reduce stress, increase focus, and improve overall health and productivity. So just to take a moment here, today, Jessica will be doing healing sounds with us. Before I started my training, also with the IIQTC, the same institute, I had never heard of healing sounds. I didn't know what healing sounds were. I didn't know anything about them. But by the time Jessica was teaching us in that certification training, I was so in and so on board that I loved it immediately. Hello, Jessica. Good to see you. Hi, Jessica. Healing sounds. To be honest, when I first heard about this, I read the materials. I heard about this and I really sort of said to myself, what is this? And to be honest, I must confess, a little bit of the old me came in to say, this is crazy. Can this work? What really is this? So I thought I would invite you to share with us, how did you develop your own practice in healing sounds, and to talk a little bit about that?
Well, thank you. So before I became a teacher, I did have one of my teachers who was an Institute of Integral Qigong and Tai Chi grad. His name is Dennis Furuyuki. And we did practice the healing sounds, and they were unfamiliar to me. I did not understand why we did them. Wasn't crazy about them. But as I went through the training to become a teacher, I learned about the healing sounds. And the healing sounds have been around for, a couple thousand years. And they have several benefits to them. I think the number one benefit is that it invites us to take very long, slow, deep breaths. And when we chant, we have the opportunity to exhale fully. The sound, is the indication of when the sound ends, we are at the bottom of our breath. So that is number one. It allows us to take very wonderful, long, deep breaths, which calms our nervous system. Secondly, they are associated with the organs in our bodies. And each of our organs is either a yin or a yang organ. And so if we are out of balance, for example, if we have too much fear, we don't have enough trust in our lives. And, these practices for Qigong and Tai Chi, the goal is to find balance. And I'm going to show you just a quick little chart, the yin and the yang chart. Most of us are familiar with this. The yin is dark, it rises up, it's the earth energy, and it's nutrients. It's really good for our bodies. And the yang energy is the light of heaven, if you like, the sun, the moon, the stars, and that's the yang energy. So ultimately, there's a little bit of each in each of the fish, if you like. Sometimes we find ourselves like this. Maybe I have too much anger or frustration, and what I need to find balance, I need to transform that anger into kindness and forgiveness. Sometimes there's too much confusion and not enough clarity. So the healing sounds really help us to balance out our emotional health as well. So as I became a teacher and did these practices, they taught me, most Qigong and Tai Chi, they end up teaching us.
Yeah.
And I'm very interested in emotional healing, and I started to incorporate the healing sounds to find balance in my own emotions, and I share that with my classes.
Wow. First of all, those images are stunning. So you can see behind me, I have my beautiful gong.
Yes.
In the balanced yin and yang. But hold that up for a second. Both of them like that. Just this imaging that you're sharing with us today is like the perfect visual to understand how out of balance we can be. Right. And that is absolutely huge. And to realize, as with the beauty and benefit and blessing of Qigong, you can use your breath. You're talking about the breath. You said, I love that you said you take that long breath in and then you do the full exhale on the sound. And that it can help you balance that emotionality. So I believe that any time in history, this is very needed. And now is one of those times in history. So I love that we're talking about this today. So just describe a little bit. Why don't we get into it and just describe a little bit like what this is, how you do it.
Well, it's very much like an Om. And we are going to start with an Om. I like to practice with hands on my body. So when we chant or sing or pray, make sounds, it does create a vibration in our body. And when our hands are on our organs, which we're going to be doing, I like to imagine there's a connection between, for example, the lungs are the yin organ, the yang organ is the large intestines. So if I've got too much grief or resistance or sadness, I want to balance that out with accepting what is, finding courage to continue on, find inspiration. So I'm energetically and intentionally, I am connecting my organs. So the large intestine will come up to the lungs and vice versa. So when we are practicing this, I invite you to listen and sense your body to find that gentle vibration. Now, when we vibrate, things can be dislodged, such as grief or anger or fear. So I like to imagine I'm dislodging maybe what I have too much of, and then bringing in more of what I do have. And then one more thing I want to say about this long, deep breath. There's a Taoist concept of when you're at the bottom of your breath, so you're empty. They call that the moment of immortality. Wow. That just blows my mind.
Yes.
So I invite you, at the beginning, it's kind of hard to be comfortable with not having a breath. Our biological being wants to take that next breath of air. But we get into it, I invite you to linger in that emptiness, that moment of immortality. And it's lovely. And this becomes a meditation.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, you have no way of knowing, but for many years, well, it has been several years now, when I learned what Dr. Roger Yanka calls the LSD breath, long, slow, deep breath. And I started practicing. I learned, I didn't know it was called the moment of immortality, or perhaps I learned it, I forgot, but I experienced and I teach, I call it the 1 second gift at the end of the exhale. I teach this with everyone. Go to the full extent of the exhale, and then now I have something else to call it. Then I say, listen and feel that experience. It's silence. So I really love that. I can absolutely vouch for this experience. And I wanted to say, you said to us, imagine dislodging that emotion, perhaps that negative emotion. Imagine, you said. So this is what we learn as the mind focus, where we can actually use our mind and imagine the dislodging. For example, if you feel that off kilter, that out of balance, where you can really imagine that dislodging and bring it in and create that real, REAL, create that. And so I wanted to say that specifically because it's the combination of the imagining with the activity, the body movement, where magic does happen. Before I let you start the practice, I want to share something else. Jessica was my teacher, and it goes back a few years now. Jessica, early on, whenever the first time you taught in our certification program, you were the one teacher who said to smile to your organs. I never forgot that. And I use that still, to smile. You can thank, and you know what I'm talking about? You say smile. Yeah, to your organs. And I can't remember if you said this is a Taoist practice or
it is.
Yeah. And that I wanted to really give this tool to our viewers and listeners to realize when you smile to your organs, it can become a game changer. So the whole package is so good. So I'm going to mute myself, Jessica, because I'm going to practice with you, but I don't want my sounds to interfere with your teaching. So I'll be here, I'll be practicing with you, and I'll be on mute. I'll unmute myself if I need to for anything. Okay?
That sounds good. But I just want to say that if, I know your audience, there's a lot of teachers, and I encourage you, as the teachers, to incorporate this in your practice. And it's beautiful when you're in a room with people that are chanting, and there's a resonance and a vibration that's palatable. So, but today we'll just follow along, and we don't have to be in unison. If you need to breathe, go ahead and breathe and chant when I'm not chanting. It's fine. It's just, when we follow our own breath, we are really connecting to ourselves.
Great. All right. Beautiful. Here we go. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, so situate yourself. I like to think about my alignment. So my feet are on the ground, touching the earth. My head is connected to the sky. And let's begin by warming up our voice. And Om is a universal sound for peace in our world. So let's just take a slow, deep breath, and then we'll exhale with an Om. And you can use your hands if you like. Notice how that makes you feel. It kind of calms everything down. We're going to practice 6 different sounds today, and these are sounds I have chosen. Many people practice these particular sounds. However, there are other sounds that people practice. Sometimes people make up their own sounds, but just for my own healing energy, for me, I have chosen and stuck with these sounds. Since here we are, it's December in California, it's 70 degrees out, but we're going to start with the kidneys. So I like to drape one arm And just have it go across your lower ribs, connecting energetically with your kidneys. And the kidneys are considered a yang organ. They're the organ for wintertime, and the element is water. So, and then let's place the other hand beneath the navel. The yang organ is the bladder. So the kidneys are yin, bladder is yang. And we'll do that 3 times. We'll chant Shuree, Chure. But we're going to draw it out. And then I'll talk a little bit about the organs and their emotional component, and then we'll do one more. So we'll do 4 sounds for each of the organs. Starting with Shuree. Let's take a deep breath in. Let's smile to our kidneys and our bladder. And in Chinese medicine, the kidneys are associated with the emotions of fear, doubt, depression. And the complementary emotions are wisdom. So the more we know, the less we fear. Trust and knowing everything's going to be okay. So that helps us to not fear. Something like 70% of what we worry about and fear never happens, but we are fearful. So let's breathe in trust and knowing everything is going to be okay. Thank you, kidneys. Thank you, bladder. Smile again to your organs. They love to be recognized. And the winter turns into springtime. So we move into the wood element. And the organs associated with the wood element, the springtime, are the liver and gallbladder. And I'll be your mirror, but your liver and gallbladder are on your right side. So they're right next to each other. Let's place our hands one on top of the other. The sound is shoe, like the shoe on your foot. Nice deep breath. Remember to find that moment of immortality at the end. Shoo. Shoo. I'm smiling at my liver and my gallbladder. And the emotions associated with the liver and gallbladder, especially the liver, are anger, irritation, frustration, inflexibility, being rigid, drawing a line in the sand. I'm never going to speak with that person again, or I will never forgive that person. Well, we all know that holding on to toxic emotions like that hurts us more than anybody else. So as we inhale, let's breathe in forgiveness, kindness, and flexibility. And we'll say shoo one more time. Shoo. Thank you, liver and gallbladder. And then we move into the summertime, the fire element. And this is associated with our heart. So one hand on the heart. And then the other hand, the yin organ is the heart and the yang organ is the small intestine. And I like my hand on my chest here because I can really sense that vibration. The sound is ha. And we're not going to do laughing today, but whenever you laugh, it brings positive energy into your heart. It brings in happiness and joy. So, laugh as much as you can, but today we're going to chant. Let's take a slow, deep breath in. Smile to your heart, your small intestine. The heart is associated with joy, passion, finding our creative juices, and patience. So sometimes we have too much hate. Sometimes we're stuck energetically, creatively, and sometimes we just have too much impatience. So this sound, as we hold the organs, will balance that into something where we can live in peace and harmony. Let's do the sound ha one more time. Big breath in. Ha. Thank you, heart. Thank you, small intestine. And I like to follow the cycle of the seasons. So after summertime, we have late summer, early fall, sometimes known as autumn. And we move from fire into the earth element. And the organs associated with that are the stomach and spleen. They're on your left side. I like to place my hands over it. And I find this interesting. In Chinese medicine, they're both considered organs of digestion. The stomach, of course, digests food to make energy for our body. The spleen digests all the information that comes at us so we can make sense of it. The sound is hoo, like an owl. Let's take a deep breath in. Hoo. Smiling to your spleen and stomach. They've done tests. They've hooked up electrodes to our organs, and when we thank them or smile at them, they do their little bleep bleep. Oh, I'm happy. So we know that our body can react to our intention and our thoughts, and the organs specifically. The spleen is associated with confusion, and so we want to transform that into clarity. It's also associated with anxiety and worry and stress. So we want to transform those energies into peace of mind, being at ease, being peaceful. So clarity. Let's take a deep breath in for our final, breathing in clarity and peace of mind. Thank you, stomach. That's the yang organ. Thank you, spleen, the yin organ. And then the autumn goes into full fall. So this is now the metal element, the season for the lungs. So one hand on your lungs, and the large intestine is the yang organ, yin or the lungs. The sound here is ah, like AHH. Let's take a deep breath in. Notice vibration. Smile to your lungs, your large intestine. And the emotions associated with the lungs are grief, sadness, wishing things were different, resistance to what is. And if you think about it, that makes a lot of sense. What happens when we're sad and we're crying? Oh, we come in, we protect our lungs, we become small. So we want to open that up. And as we breathe in, let's breathe in, I accept what is with courage, strength, and dignity. Thank you, lungs, and thank you, large intestines. The lungs are also associated with inspiration. That makes sense. We breathe, so bringing in that inspiration, especially after we've lost someone or something, we're mad and we don't accept it, but we have to, and it helps us to inspire us to what's our next step to continue forward. And there's one more sound, and this is for the pericardium, which is surrounds the heart, and also for it's called the Saijian. And then it's also for what's called the triple burner in Chinese medicine. And this is the fire in your belly. This is the fire that digests food and makes it so that your body can absorb it. And in other traditions, and some, I've also read that it's associated with all of our organs. It's the container of our brain, our eyes, our ears, our sexual organs, elimination organs. So I like that, all of it. It's kind of a yang. Pericardium might be the yin, but that triple burner is definitely fire, definitely yang. And maybe think of what's out of balance in your life right now. There are no emotions that are specific for this sound. So just for a moment, think of how things could come back into balance. The sound is she. Let's take a deep breath in. She. She. Ah, that moment of immortality, isn't it precious? And now, with intention, think about what balance looks like for you right now. What did you want to have more of or less of? We'll do that one more time. Thank you, pericardium, for protecting my heart. Thank you for the triple burner for creating the gastric juices, heating them up so I can digest my food. And for a moment, close your eyes. Notice what you feel in your body. Is there a slight tingling or buzzing? Where can you soften? The concept of an inner smile for your whole being. And when you're ready, you can drop the hands onto the knees, reestablish your alignment. Imagine all the emotions are balanced in your being. And know that, I just want to let you know that this practice, you don't have to transform or change emotions. You can just do the breath and be happy with knowing you're hanging onto your lungs and your large intestine, and that's enough because it's happening anyway. But as I've taught more and more over the years, I really like to be efficient, and why not transform emotional imbalances so we become happy and healthy humans. So thank you, Susan. And
oh my gosh, I just needed to sit there for a minute. I had my eyes closed and I almost felt, like that coming to the center, just being on the Tai Chi pole. Yeah, that was beautiful. So beautiful. I honestly, as soon as you started talking, all of this came flooding back. And I want to say this was not part of my practice. It's a lot. When you get certified and trained, it's a lot of information. I filled a whole notebook in that time. And then the next round of certification, and basically you work a practice for yourself. You even said that to us, Jessica, that this is your practice. You've sort of formulated and refined these 6 for you and in your teaching. Maybe you do others at other times, but I forgot how deep this was, and the combination, the built-in breath work, the way you described it, right from the beginning, the built-in breath work is important. And one thing that I can share from my personal experience doing this Qigong for these years now is my breath has slowed, and I am in such deeper breathing than in the old type A shallow breathing that I was in. And you can tell how shallow or deep your breath is by how long the exhale is. And the sound really helps you with that. And so I've known this, I've observed this about myself, that my exhalation is very, very long. And I think that's from practicing, but it's very noticeable with the sound all the way out. So
in many traditions, religious traditions, or where people pray or chant, it is considered a gateway into stillness. And so often when I meditate, sometimes it's hard for me at first to really get in there. It's like, okay, I really want to meditate, but the mind's just going. And so I will practice the healing sounds to enter my meditation. And as I just said, it's a portal or a gateway to find inner stillness. So it's a great tool. We did 25 very long, deep breaths. And
Mm.
as you were mentioning, the exhalation is much more important than the inhalation in Chinese medicine. So to focus on that exhalation, to let go, release completely. Wow, that's medicine right there.
It so is. And I want to just say to anybody who's watching or listening, I have lived this experience that you just talked about. I have become tuned in, aware of my exhalation. Normally I used to go through life, I wasn't even aware of anything, breathing or inhale or exhale. And now I find myself, I'm in slow, deep exhalation from the breath work. I love what you just said. Some people, breath work is a little bit hard for me, to tell you the truth, Jessica. And so the breath work, one of the baskets of Qigong, as we teach, is built in here. And so you've done all of that breath work while you're also supporting your organs, using your mind focus to, the creative imagination to really complete this package. I loved this so much. This video is going to be an easy, pretty fast tool for people to start, stop, and come back and just do the practice moments again. And you went through it so smoothly. I had my microphone off, I was doing it here, and so you've really given us a gift today. And I really, really want to say thank you for taking the time again, for sharing the practice, sharing your expertise with us. And I am going to incorporate this into my practice now, and also into my teaching. I was a little overwhelmed the first time around, but now it's been 4 years. And
Wow.
so, or a few years, I should say, maybe 3. And I'm more ready now. So I definitely want to, I'm going to grow and enhance my practice. So until next time, Jessica, Kolbe, thank you so much. Thank you for everything today. Always good to practice with you.
It's a pleasure, Susan. Thank you for what you're doing. Love it.
Yeah, my pleasure also. See you soon.
Thank you.